Grenada's Keith Mitchell leads his party to another clean sweep at the polls yesterday. That's our top story in our Barbados Today morning news update for Wednesday, March the 14th. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. It's another clean sweep at the polls in Grenada for the new National Party of Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell. Preliminary results announced last night by the Supervisor of Elections, Alex Phillip, revealed that the NNP won all 15 seats in Parliament for the second consecutive term.
We had 57,357 persons voting. Preliminary results, that is a total of about 73.3%. And overall, the NNP had 33,786. The NDC, 23,243. The GPM, Grenada Progressive Movement, 87. The TLP, 49. The TPP, 42. The independent candidates, we had Mr. Fletcher from St. Andrew Southwest, 34 votes. Mr. Jocelyn Whiteman from St. David, 34 votes. The Grenada Renaissance Party, 44 votes. GEM, 25 votes. And the GUPM, 10.
And leader of the main opposition National Democratic Congress, Nazim Burke, graciously conceded defeat and congratulated Dr. Keith Mitchell for another major victory.
We wish to take this opportunity to congratulate Prime Minister Keith Mitchell and the members of the leaders of the new National Party on what we must admit is a resounding victory. Yes, it was a very long and hard campaign in which we put forward our vision for Grenada, for Grenada's development, and for the governance of Grenada. Ideas that we thought would find favor with the electorate. Unfortunately, this was not the case. And so all that we can say is that we accept the verdict of the people. We congratulate the Prime Minister. We take the opportunity, of course, to say to all of our members, all of our supporters, that we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for the effort you've put in. This has been a very difficult campaign for us. We fought without much resources, but we relied on the will, determination, and resolve of the members of our party.
In other news now, a Canada-based professor of sociology has branded Barbados as a country with economic prisoners. University of the Western Ontario professor of sociology and social science, Anton Alahar, told a lunchtime lecture at the Kieth campus of the University of the West Indies yesterday that people condemn Venezuela for having political prisoners, but downplay the economic prisoners in Barbados.
I see the poor in our system as the economic prisoners of capitalism, and that the obsession with political prisoners here, there, and everywhere, and so we don't even mention that we have political prisoners, we in the West, in the secret prisons, that we have Abu Ghraib, and we have Guantanamo, and so on and so forth. But we do bad things, but that's only because we try to fight against people who are worse than we are. The economic prisoners in Barbados, the economic prisoners more widely in the world, people like Haiti, the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, they have economic prisoners, prisoners of an economic system called capitalism.
A 16-year-old schoolgirl who not only disrespected but failed to comply with the orders given by a policeman was granted $2,000 bail in a Bridgetown court yesterday. Ationa Cadogan of 2nd Avenue, Pickwick Gap, St. Michael, told Magistrate Douglas Frederick that she failed to comply with the directive to move and keep moving when an officer of the Royal Barbados Police Force ordered her to do so. However, she denied telling the same officer, and we quote, "You could only be a F-word idiot," as he tried to execute his duty on March the 12th. "I did not move, yes, because I was waiting for my cousin. I wait there every day, and because he see a group of students, he targeted me," said Cadogan, adding that the policeman then began to question her. "I said nobody can't question me, but I was cussing on my phone," Cadogan said, as she gave reasons for her behavior to the magistrate. However, Frederick was not amused and spoke to the Cadogan about her body language while in the dock. He then ordered a pre-sentencing report into the teenager's life, explaining that he cannot impose a sentence at this time as she had entered a not guilty plea to the abusive language charge. The case was adjourned to May the 11th.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Welcome back with news from the region now. The Caribbean Court of Justice has started hearing an appeal against a Guyana appeals court limiting the president's tenure in office to 2 terms. Guyana's Attorney General Basil Williams on Monday told the CCJ that 2 former top judicial officers in Georgetown had erred in applying the basic structure doctrine in the 3rd term case, even as he asserted that the Term Limit Act is valid. Barbadians Queen's Counsel Ralph Thorne and Hal Gollop are part of the legal team representing the Guyana government.
Williams and a party of lawyers are challenging a Court of Appeal ruling in the case brought by a relatively unknown man, Cedric Richardson, on the presidential term limit. The ruling was initially challenged by both the state and former Speaker of the National Assembly, Raphael Trotman. The state is being represented by Attorney General Basil Williams, Solicitor General Kim Kite Thomas, State Counsel Utica John, and Barbadian Queen's Counsel Hal Gollop and Ralph Thorne. Richardson was represented by Douglas Mendes of Trinidad. It is believed that former President Barra Jagdeo is playing a big role in the case, since Mr. Richardson is just an ordinary citizen, and questions have been raised as to why he would spend so much money to go to the Caribbean Court of Justice to battle. Mr. Jagdeo, however, and the PPP have always denied playing a role in this case.
And on the international scene, the Russian ambassador to the European Union is accusing the UK of preventing progress in the investigation into the poisoning of a former Russian spy in London. More in this UN News report.
With the growing crisis in UK-Russian relations taking on a European dimension, Russia's ambassador to the European Union spoke to Euronews about spies, blaming Britain for the tension, and reacting to the Rex Tillerson sacking. The UK is in material breach of the international convention banning chemical weapons, because after the incident, it did not give Russia access to the samples.
В адрес которой выдвигаются соответствующие подозрения, необходимые объективные данные, включая образцы.
Russia was going to answer any suspicion within 10 days. Unfortunately, London has chosen a language of ultimatums.
Подозрения в течение 10 суток. Вместо этого
I can say from the start that a language of ultimatums in relation to Russia doesn't work.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. We are also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.